asked the question before.
That's a good idea. Our last road trip of the season starts.
Let me text Greg Duxon. Ask him if he knows anything about that.
So that's not good. You in?
They want to sit right here.
You should have seen you back
Oh, it's 6 o'clock. At this time, I'd like to call the 25-26 budget hearing to order. Please stand for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call?
Jane, yes. Chad?
Yes.
Tisha?
Yes.
Brandon?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes, sorry. This hearing is to allow any public comment upon the proposed fiscal year 26 budget. The tentative budget approved in August has been posted for 30 days. I'll turn this over to Mrs. Baker.
So no changes have been made. So the budget that was posted for 30 days is the tentative budget that I'm proposing for today. We did cut spending significantly, about $6 million total in spending that we've cut for this year, just throughout all the funds. So anyone have any questions?
I do not.
No.
There's no action taken during this portion of the meeting, but we'll ask for the adoption of the FY26 budget later in the meeting. I need a motion and a second to adjourn the budget hearing.
Motion.
Motion by Andrew,
Second.
second by Chad. Roll call?
Jane, yes. Chad?
Yes.
Tisha?
Yes.
Brandon?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes. Okay, I now call the September 15th, 2025 regular board meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Chad?
Yes.
Tisha?
Yes.
Brandon?
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Jill?
Yes.
Jane, yes.
At this time, I would like to recognize any visitors that would like to address the board. There being none, we'll move to the financial report.
I would share, because we do have some visitors that haven't been in a long time or very often,
Okay,
just so they are fully aware of how things work, because I've been in other meetings with them, and everybody around town runs their meeting differently. If, when you come to our meetings, you don't have to call ahead of time to get on the agenda. We do allow about 5 minutes if you do want to speak out and share something of some sort. Once we start the meeting and get down into the meeting, we generally don't go back to audience participation at that point. So if you see something or if you got any ideas, we ask for those at the beginning of the meeting. Just food for thought. Okay?
Okay.
We do want to do one thing real quick, if that's okay with you. It's not on the agenda, and it's not on there on purpose because
oh, okay.
you all get the agenda. So Michelle has graciously gone and gotten us, we have a little bit of a celebration tonight that I think most of you are probably aware of. If you're not, Mr. Duncan has not been able to be with us in person due to some other obligations that he's had for the last four months.
Yeah.
4 months. And so tonight's his first opportunity back from a civic duty that I do believe is very, very noble and very appreciative that he has endeavored to do in his own life. He does do something that makes money besides a board member, because I know there are people that think he's paid to be a board member. He's not. So he does have another job, but we thought it would take a few minutes here tonight and just celebrate and thank him for and congratulate him on his graduation and I believe a new job and honestly being back in the midst with us and I had an opportunity to spend some time this afternoon with him to get caught up on some things. And it's really a pleasantry to have him back. So congratulations. I don't think anybody else wants to share anything, but we thought we'd probably start this off, and I couldn't share that in your notes because he gets those notes, and it's a no-no to not give all board members the same information. So
Just so others can hear, it is graduation from the police academy?
Yep.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So here's your pay.
I don't know if I just did the right call. I was like, just who's trying to do it?
But we'll keep the meeting.
All right. Okay, ready? I do the same thing. Okay. Small figure so we can see the numbers.
There you go.
Yeah.
now get the important people up here with him. Mom, daughter, or
No,
wife, I mean.
wife.
daughter. You call her girlfriend, I call her daughter. Good job. I'm gonna set that cake over there, and just before we go into closed session, before you leave, if you want to grab a piece of cake.
We know when to come, don't we?
I'd like to continue the meeting if, I don't know, if someone wants to slice it, we'll just keep continuing.
Right.
Continue with the meeting. Brandon has taken a position with the Cumberland County Sheriff's Department. So he got maybe one day off from the academy before he started his job.
That's you.
2 days, 2 days. So he's been well at it, but we've missed him and we're glad to see he's back. And we appreciate you dialing in to our meetings while you were away.
Yes.
So that
That's
he
nice.
still stayed present even though he wasn't present. So we appreciate that. Okay, at this time, Mrs. Baker will share the financial report.
Sure, we're showing a 17.64% decrease over last year with net fund balance of $15,035,033.24. In the operating funds, we're showing a decrease of 17.44% over last year with a net total of $14,055,240.91. Revenue, in the operating funds, we're showing local revenue of $253,403, state revenue $601,155, and federal revenue $64,657. Those expenses over $5,000 are broke out separate in your packet. So the recommendation would be to reimburse the impressed account in the amount of $6,865.14 and the payment of bills in the amount of $635,795.37. And your visuals are back.
Yes, I appreciate that. Does anyone have any questions for Mrs. Baker?
I think it's also important to note that the tax money is why we're showing a 17% decrease at this point right now. I think every year we get our taxes at a different time. I know they're all set by county, but until they get to us, we can't record them. So we don't have that allotment just yet. When we get that, that will change things significantly.
First week of October.
There you go. Okay,
Right.
thanks.
They said that at the county board.
Did they?
About an hour.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, I am looking for a motion and a second to approve the financial report to reimburse the impressed account in the amount of $6,865.14 and the payment of bills in the amount of $635,795.37.
Motion.
Motion by Erica,
Second.
second by Chad. Roll call.
Desha,
Yes.
Brandon,
Yes.
Erica,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad.
Yes.
Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. In your packet, there are minutes from the regular board meeting on 8/11 and closed session minutes from 8/11. The cafeteria report is attached. Student teachers, there is quite a list. Most of those are student practicum experiences. So those are short-term experiences. We've got one that's a math interventionist at Southside, pre-K kindergarten split between Eastside and ELC, first and second grade at Southside, grade 4, grade 2, PE, a grade 6 special ed, and a grade 6 general ed at the junior high. So it's good to see future teachers in our buildings. The fundraiser list is extensive as well. So I probably won't read through all of those. The Fellowship of Christian Athletes, ELC PTO, EJHS and EHS Track and Field, EHS Choir, EHS Track and Field, Southside PTO, Junior High Student Council, the high school soccer team, the junior high cheer squad, Central Grade School as a collective whole, ELC PTO, a first and second grade class at Southside, the EHS dance team, the Central School Library, the Southside PTO, and the EHS Spring Musical. So there's quite a few fundraisers that have been requested. Field trips, we have 8th grade cross country, going to watch a cross country meet in Terre Haute. The EHS band participating in Bands of America in St. Louis. The 7th and 8th grade boys basketball team is playing against Robinson at the historic basketball arena, the Hoosier Gym in Knightstown, Indiana, and EHS band is looking to go to Orlando for a workshop at Universal Studios and a performance at Universal Studios in April of 26. Activity fund accounts, the convenience funds accounts. There are 8 pages of different activity funds in each building. I'm sure you've had a chance to look over all of those, but each building and each activity has their own account or fund. There is also a disposal of surplus items that have been requested for discard, and those are coming from the high school. Most of those are desks and chairs that are no longer usable. Does anyone have any questions about the consent agenda? Okay, there being none, we'll move on. Oh, do we have to vote on the consent agenda?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that, it's not here.
Sorry.
I am looking for a motion and a second to accept the consent agenda. Motion by Andrew. Second by Desha, roll call.
Brandon,
Yes.
Erica,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Desha.
Okay, there is no correspondence this month. And so there we are. Next on the agenda is superintendent's report.
I'm going to start off with a presentation from Mr. Roberts. Mr. Roberts and I have been speaking along with several other people for actually a long time, I would say, in regard to vaping and some things of that nature. And we would really, really, really like to kind of go on a little bit of the journey with you and you with us to make a big difference. So I'll turn the floor over at this time to Mr. Roberts, and thank you for taking the time to do this today.
Yeah, thank you. I addressed the board with this actually some years ago. I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't know if any of you were board members at that time or not. But that at a time that we started seeing a rise in electronic cigarettes or vaping. And so I came just basically to kind of make people aware of what's going on. Since that time, this industry has grown immensely, and really what I have, and I hope that I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but we get a lot of I want to say accusations that say, hey, you got a problem with vaping in your school. And there's some truth to that, but what I would say is we got a problem with vaping in our society, and it's spilling into schools. And so today I want to talk to you a little bit about what that is and what the problems are, what's going on at Effingham High School with it, and some of the things that we're trying to do about it. So it's really not just a school issue, and this is nationwide. It really is a social issue. And it's really, and my frustration with this is we're doing harm to our young people, and people are profiting from that. And the evidence is mounting that shows that harm. I don't know if you've heard these, but you're going to hear more and more, I think, public service announcements about this. You're going to hear more and more people making statements about it. The Surgeon General has made some statements about it. The CDC has made some statements about it. But there is a lot of issues here, and we're wanting to make some kind of statement about underage vaping, and that Effingham 40 is basically making a stand. And I'm hoping that expands, and we continue to look at people in schools, in sports, in medicine, and there are more and more people that are making that stand. So that's kind of my introduction to this, and just to kind of give you a little bit, I'm not going to give you a lot of statistics, but this is a research from the 2024 Center for Disease Control estimates that 1.2 million high school students vape. That's about 7.8% of the population. When you vape, I don't remember this exactly, but about 98 to 90% of any electronic cigarette contains at least nicotine. So this is equivalent to basically 1.2 million high school students smoking. And at one point, we really got people to stamp out the idea of smoking because of the harm that it was doing towards kids with the nicotine addiction. But it's back, and people are being told that it's safe, and our kids are believing that it's safe when it's not. Middle schools, about 3.5% of all middle schoolers. That's about a little over 400,000 middle schoolers. And so it starts pretty young as well. So there's been a number of negative issues that are connected with this. So these can, and I'm going to give you some general. There are complications with lungs. You maybe heard the term popcorn lung. This is an irritant to the lung that they're not really sure actually is reversible. They're looking at that there's mental and emotional things as well connected to it. This is anxiety, depression. It impacts developing brain cells, and they control the attention, learning, mood, and impulse control. These are all things that are challenged by young people to begin with, and now we're adding chemicals in there that are making it even more challenging. The U.S. Surgeon General has concluded that use of nicotine in any form, including e-cigarettes, is unsafe. And I think that's kind of where we start. That's the basis of where we're at. So let me tell you a little bit about some of the issues that we see in our school, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we're doing now and what we want to do even more. And here's some of the things that happen in the issues at Effingham High School. I'm talking about just the high school. I'm not necessarily in the junior high to know, but I'm sure that some of these things are coming from our junior high as well. One of the things is we get students report vaping in the bathroom, right? I mean, that's probably not a surprise to anybody, to the extent that we have students who don't want to go into the bathroom because of the amount that it's going on. That's a problem, and that's an issue, and we know it's an issue, and that's one of the reasons we want to do something about it. We also see that students are addicted to nicotine. This impacts their health and their learning. I don't know if you've ever been or know anybody that's addicted to anything. It's really hard not for them to want to vape in the middle of school when you're addicted to nicotine. So we have 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds that are basically craving that nicotine in some way or another, and we're trying to educate them. And when you're craving that and trying to get an education at the same time, that's obviously a problem. A couple of other things to know: that Illinois state law prohibits anyone under the age of 21 from possessing vaping products. So in other words, then we've got students who are actually breaking the law in school. And it is illegal to use these products on school property, and so there is basically, that's what's going on. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not looking for us to arrest a bunch of students. That's not what I'm looking for. But if we identify the fact that these are laws that are being broken, then we need to recognize that. We can't turn a blind eye to that. We want to attack this problem basically on multiple fronts. So there's three different things to think about there. We want to enforce our policies. Now, please understand that enforcing our policies, this also includes city and county ordinances, is for the safety of our students, both those who are vaping and those who are not. So we're looking at enforcing those, and we want to, and in our own policies in our own building as well, which is no product like this on campus. We also want to educate young people and families on the harms of nicotine. That includes the vapes, especially on young adults and developing brains and bodies. This includes exposing the lie that vaping is safe and it has no ill effects, because that's the lie that's out there. it does have ill effects, and we want to kind of, so what I really want to try to show you guys today is we're not just out there trying to catch people that are vaping, because that's not going to change anything. It's just a cycle, a vicious cycle of trying to catch and people trying to get away with it and trying to catch. We also want to educate people. We want the public to know this is a problem with our young people, and I don't want to wait until all these health issues come out with them for us to do anything about it. We also want to support. So if we have students who are currently vaping or using other nicotine products and desire to quit but can't, we want to provide resources. We want to try to find a way to help them if this is really what's going on. And so from that same CDC study, let me give you a couple of statistics. 64% of students who currently use e-cigarettes report wanting to quit. 64% of those that are using right now report that they want to quit. They haven't and they can't, but they want to. 67% of them who currently use e-cigarettes reported trying to quit in the last year. This tells us that they're getting addicted and they want to quit but can't. And then we also know that most long-term tobacco use, including vaping, starts and is established during adolescence. And so what we really want to try to do is head this thing off. And don't get me wrong, I don't think that we're going to make a huge difference in the entire nation. But what we do need to do is do what we can here at this point. So at this point, I kind of want to tell you some of the things that we're doing already that you might not know that we're doing, and also some of the things that we're wanting to do. We do use vape detectors at the high school in the restrooms, and this helps us. And what I've done is, do they have this in their packet?
They don't.
Okay.
Thank you.
I've kind of identified
I'll
those
give it to them.
three areas. That's all right. Of those 3 areas, what we're doing, I've identified what satisfies what. So, for instance, the use of vape detectors in the restroom, that's part of implementing our policies and enforcing our policies. We use it in a couple of ways. One of the ways is we establish patterns, right? So in other words, when those vape detectors go off, we look through, we see who is in the bathroom, we're making phone calls home to parents. We're talking to students and say, hey, we notice you're in the bathroom a lot when the vape detector goes off. We're going to call your parents and let them know what's going on. Again, it's not just about catching them, it's about trying to get them help if that's what's going on as well. We've seen some success with that. We also we also use this as a means to possibly search students to see if they have these products. So part of implementing our policies are vape detectors in the restrooms. We do send out some anti-vaping messages. I do this at freshman orientation to all classes. If I had somebody that's of more authority than I am on this that would like to do that freshman orientation to new students, I'd love to invite them to come and tell parents and students about the harms of vaping. And then I also put on here that I introduce anybody who's going to listen to me about vaping. I will deliver this message because I do really believe I've seen this happen. We can't keep letting harm come to our young people so other people can profit from it. I can't stand for that. We do educate as part of the health curriculum, and that's part of the education as well as the anti-vaping messages. We've implemented an anti-loitering policy in our bathroom. So basically, if you're not using the restroom for what the restroom is supposed to be used for, then we either get you out, and if that becomes a problem, then we'll give you consequences for loitering in the bathroom. That's had some impact as well. And it's kind of reduced the number of people that are just hanging out in the bathrooms for no reason, other than just to hide in there. Let's see. We are going to, as part of education and awareness, this has actually already started. Mr. Huber in our advanced art class is sponsoring an anti-youth vaping poster contest for 5th through 12th grade through the district. So this is part about bringing awareness. And so there are prizes. I'm really proud of our art students on this. They reached out to local businesses to donate prizes. They've reached out to, at some point, winners will be displayed in the community. They're looking for that venue. I think they've contacted possibly the library, courthouse, something along those lines. So the winners will actually be displayed in the community. But again, bringing that awareness to our young people who are in the contest, but also to the community as well. So that's one of the things we're doing. We also have a diversion program through our school resource officer, Officer Hartke. And basically what it is if you are caught vaping, you have the opportunity to divert from some of those consequences if you go through programs that are, and we've used like not anti-vaping specifically, but anti-addiction counseling sessions or nicotine education sessions along those lines as a way to kind of provide more education and helping students stop. For the future, just a couple of things we're going to do. We haven't participated in the Illinois Youth Survey in some time. The Illinois Youth Survey surveys, we'll probably only do sophomores our first year. You can do sophomores and seniors. And this is a survey on basically risky behaviors. And then we get that data back. not necessarily to identify individual students, but identify trends, and just to see where our students at and where they at compared to nationally. We're also looking at creating a contact list of counselors willing to work with families and students on addiction and counseling, so we can provide that and say, hey, here's a list of counselors that can work this with. You are concerned, then this would be one of the places that you as a parent could reach out. What I'm asking for you guys, or the board in general, is two things really. And what I would like to do is be able to use our social media posts to repost anti-youth vaping messages from reliable websites. So right now, and I'll have to admit, I'm a little lax in this. I need to go through with the American Lung Association. If I go through and watch a few more videos, I become certified. We become a partner school in a vape-free school campaign through the American Lung Association. From there, we have access to anti-vaping videos and training and those kind of things. I would like us as a district to be able to put on our social media some of those anti-vaping educational pieces for our community to see and understand, especially for parents. I would also like a public statement declaring our commitment to working towards the prevention of youth use of nicotine products, including vaping devices. And I have provided with Mr. Johnson a statement that you guys can view to see if you want to make that statement at some point. So just to kind of conclude, just to let you know, this is not just a school problem, okay? This is a social problem. We're allowing harm in the form of health issues and addiction to come to our young people in the name of profit. This is an issue we should all stand up against. So I thank you for your time. Please consider what I've asked, and hopefully you get a chance to take a look at that and get back, and we'll be able to make a statement in the public.
So I've shared it with all of you now.
Okay.
You've got a chance to look at it, probably not right now. But we do have a statement prepared too, that once you would endorse that, if you do, I've run it through our attorneys as a safeguard before we would put it out there. And if you're comfortable with this, then we'll release that in the coming days.
I think we should share that at ball games on the big boards as well, because I know that those detectors that went off during ball games is not necessarily students. It's
Agreed.
parents and
Yes.
fans. From sitting with Mr. Poland at volleyball games,
Yes.
I learned this last year. So,
Yes.
but they may not be aware. So
Yeah.
we need to treat it just like we do smoking, be a smoke-free campus.
Right. I mean, and I think we might have the opportunity to partner with our medical community a bit, with doing some education pieces and, some, I don't know, in-person visits from some of our nurses and physicians might be helpful. I don't know. I like the idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit more about the training you're talking about that you're doing online.
With the American Lung Association, basically, you kind of caught me. So I started this about the time school started, and then I got busy. All right, but in that training is essentially teaching a little bit about the harms, and really basically they just want, instead of just stealing the resources, they want somebody that's educated in what they believe. And the American Lung Association is not just against vaping, it's kind of nicotine in any way or another. So with that, once I get through all my classes, they're just online, I just gotta watch them. Once I get through all of those, and there's not that much more to go, basically then they partner with us and give me access to a lot of their resources, such as videos and those types of things that we can possibly use in the diversion programs that Officer Harkey is doing, or possibly use with a health class or those types of things. That kind of answers your question. Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you very much.
You bet.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks, Kurt.
Okay, next one would be enrollment updates, and just for the record, we've listed 3 years. 2023-24 total enrollment at this time of the year was 2,288. 2024-25, which was last year, was 313, I'm sorry. And then this year is 2,321 at this point. This is comparing at the same time every year. As I will get you some more updated information as the year goes along. We're finding that enrollment is an interesting data situation, especially through our sports, as you've seen recently. So we're heavily involved right now with the IHSA and the Illinois State Board of Education to figure out how they do the things that they do, meaning when do they pull it, what are we reporting, so on and so forth. I've had extensive conversations with them over the last 2 weeks. And we're supposed to get some updates tomorrow, actually, from them on what truly has happened with our data. So there'll be more to come on that. But I say this with the idea that you keep in mind, Michelle, you have a 10-day report for the Illinois State Board of Education. So it's the first 10 days of the school year. Then we have another report that's due, I don't know, was it October? I think it is. And then there's another report in March. And then everybody would like to know at the end of the school year how many students we have sitting around. So and I know it might shock people, but we really have some transit families that might be in another district to start the year and come to us and end up back in that district and vice versa. So we have a lot of enrollment fluctuation throughout the course of the year. So if I am leaning towards being more confident with the numbers I just gave you than this district's been in a long time with the data being credible. So I feel pretty confident right now that we are up 8 students. I can tell you that our non-English speaking students is up, not to single anybody out, but I bring that up just because we have added staff over the last 2-3 years, and we may be in a position that we will potentially have to add some more. But that will be more conversations as we move forward. I shouldn't say have to, get to, from the standpoint of being able to meet those needs. But that basically the information we gave you right there is pretty much the 10-day report each year for the last 3 years, including this year. Any questions on the enrollment side? Okay, for your request, we do have, what do we have, 4?
4.
Yes. We've got 4 here. Let me pull those up real quick. The first one was basically a general one that I think goes out. It's Smart Procure, Sherry Reed. We get that from the.
She requests this quarterly from the business office, purchase orders, purchase date, what was bought, that kind of thing. Pretty general. We get that 4 times a year.
Okay. And then Starbridge AI, Justin Winnig. I do think that one's a little bit, that's kind of a standard one too, is it not?
Yeah, similar.
Report asking for purchasing and vendors and things of that nature. Eric Williamson with our teachers union, basically getting some information so that they had information in regard to for collective bargaining, I do believe. Jared Sarver with Powell's Electric asking some questions, and this one is getting pretty deep and really truly is going to take a lot of work for us. I don't know if we've completed it yet, but it's really geared more to the high school on financial records, ledgers, reports, documentation. It's going to take a lot of time and cost, unfortunately. And I think a lot of it's dealing with, if I remember correctly, basically dealing with parking lot fees.
Parking lot.
Right, some of those kind of things. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at with FOIAs as of right now. Questions on those? Okay. Next one would be the foundation report. As I'm clicking into this to give you a couple items on there, as I prefaced through it a little bit earlier. Todd Schutte, many of you are aware that Todd Schutte will be retiring, I believe it's in December for us. Todd, for many years, several years, has been our district liaison on that foundation. I recently asked Talitha Weedman, which is the assistant principal or dean of students at Southside, to step into that role for the next few months, and she'll take that over when Todd steps out. So I've got the 2 of them for the next 2, 3, 4 months, making that transition as we move into Todd stepping out of the profession and retiring. And obviously she would be able to help us with that. That group is extremely important to us. They run lots and lots and lots of events, have a meeting once a month. So we want to make sure it's in good hands, and I do believe that Talitha will do a great job there. I did see on that foundation report, there's been 2 meetings in the last, one in August, and then I believe they've had their September one already. Looks like board positions, they welcomed Zoe Bridges to the board. Also down there, I saw under scholarships, there's 1 new scholarship from Judy Wolf, which would be a $2,000 scholarship. Looks like $2,000 total, will be 4 $500 scholarships. He talks about, in the homecoming parade, again, obviously it's coming up this weekend. They're heavily involved in that. We appreciate them being involved in that as well. About the other one.
They're already starting to plan for breakfast with Santa.
Okay,
December 6th, put it on your calendar. And teacher grants.
and teacher grants. Good enough for that one.
Yeah.
Questions on the foundation report? Nope. Kerner Sports Spectacular Golf Outing was this past week, last week, I guess. And if I'm not mistaken, it was the 32nd consecutive year. Is that correct? Okay, 32 years. That this amazing organization, I think it's probably up closer to 1.5 million. Over that now, okay, over 1.5 billion over those 32 years. We're fortunate enough this year to receive $53,000 for our sports backers here in Effingham, and of course, St. Anthony got the same thing on the other side of town. So again, kudos and appreciation to everyone that participates in that, and obviously the Kerner family for so many years of that support. A lot of things have happened around here because of that golf outing. And so we appreciate them very much for that. Also thank Mac Thompson and Ben Shore for, from the district side. We had 2 teams in there again this year. I think they did okay. They were close to the 23 under that won it from what I heard. But they did shoot all right. So, but bigger was the fundraising part, right? So thank you to the Kerners and all that participated in that. And that is it, I believe, for me.
Okay, thank you. Moving along to new business, the first item is the crisis plan approval. The plan has been updated with feedback from the local authorities. The plan is confidential and should not be shared if you don't want the schools or law enforcement's response to be limited or potentially unsafe. Each school holds a crisis team meeting, and safety is a priority at Unit 40. Does anybody have any comments or questions? I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the FY26 crisis plan.
Motion?
Motion by Erica,
Second.
second by Brandon. Roll call.
Erica,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Tisha,
Yes.
Brandon.
Yes.
Okay, next item on the agenda is the tentative budget.
So no changes have been made. There are a couple things that I would like to highlight. There are no increases for salaries for certified and non-cert. So we're currently in negotiations. Those contracts have not been settled. It's just the step increase for those positions. So we will have to amend the budget later in the year. I'm just going to tell you that because of that. Otherwise, I tried to include everything else that I was aware of. Transportation, for example, we're looking at 9 new buses. We hope that those will be delivered in January as they've promised us, but there's no guarantees. The last time we ordered a bus, it took them 2 years, so there's a chance that we still won't get those buses, just to make you aware. Other than that, the memo's in there. Like I said, we did cut about $6 million in spending. So we're looking at, if everything is expended in the budget that I have proposed, about 1.5 million in gain, but that's just without raises or anything else in the budget. So this is a guess for now.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Okay, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the FY26 tentative budget resolution.
Motion.
Motion by Chad. Second. Second by Erica. Roll call.
Andrew, Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Tisha,
Yes.
Brandon,
Yes.
Erica.
Yes.
Okay, the activity accounts were in the prior part of the packet. Now is the time to approve those accounts. Does anyone have any questions or comments about those before we begin? There being none, I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the activity accounts for the 25-26 school year.
Motion.
Motion by Andrew,
Second.
second by Desha. Roll call.
Jill,
Yes.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Desha, Brandon,
Yes.
Erica,
Yes.
Andrew.
Okay, the last item for open session is the motion, a second, to enter into closed session for the following topics: the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the district, collective negotiating matters between a public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more classes of employees. The third item is the setting of price for sale or lease of property owned by the district. And the last item is student disciplinary cases. Do I have a motion to enter into closed session?
Motion.
Motion by Andrew,
Second.
second by Desha. Roll call.
Jane, yes, Chad,
Yes.
Desha,
Yes.
Brandon,
Yes.
Erica,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Jill.
Yes. We will adjourn to closed